What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Erasure, and we're back to finish off their 1989 album, Wild. This has been another enjoyable journey. I mean, I've enjoyed all their albums, but they have offered sort of like different slices in the sort of scale and scope of their development, which is something Han Solo talked about very early on. He was saying, look, I like Wonderland, but when you listen to it, and then you listen to The Circus and The Innocents and Wild and Chorus, by the time you get there, you'll realize, like, in terms of the sort of power and sort of depth of the production, it's just not the same on Wonderland as what they would eventually grow and build into. So I was very intrigued by that, and I definitely have noticed that. So yeah, we're up to the final tune. I was interested when I started this album, Wild, as I mentioned, 1989, but I was interested that it starts and ends with two different versions of the same song, and as I commented at the time, it's interesting to me to start with the instrumental version as the first track of the album, and then to finish with the vocal version as the final track of the album. It felt at the time like, oh, you know, you would want to start with the version where that song is expressing ideas, is saying what it has to say, and then maybe you leave them with the sort of melody on the way out. But I gotta say, by the time I now get here to the final song, I'm actually happy that we're gonna get the full vocal version at the end. It'll be sort of like, we can now hear what this song is about lyrically, whereas we were just given the sort of atmosphere of the sonics as we entered the album. So I'm actually happy that it's arranged this way as we get to the end, although I did feel differently at the start. I do want to mention, because I sometimes forget to mention these things, this album was produced not only by Erasure, but also Gareth Jones and Mark Saunders, and the design and art direction was by Me Company Photography, which I'm interested in, by Pierre, it says. So yeah, credits abound, but let's get to it. This is Piano Song, the regular, or I assume lyric-containing version, the final track on Erasure's 1989 album, Wild.
Never get angry at stupid people, though I go crazy at the dumbness of my life. Sitting staring to a dusty window, an empty face stares back at me and cries. My vulnerability rushes up to me, and I'm left here, the rebel, without a cause. And the deeper I delve into the consciousness of me with you, the harder it gets. The
more we delve into the consciousness of me with you, the harder it gets.
What hurts me most, I'll never see your eyes again. Get weary doesn't mean that I'm unwilling. My body belies me, I'm a fertile mind. And as I grow older, the world forgets me.
I was just feeling like, as I get older, I sort of feel
It
that.
talks to me as if I'm some kind of child. Their insensitivity washes over me, till I'm left here, the rebel, without a cause. The deeper I delve into the consciousness of me and you, the harder it gets. I need to close my eyes. What hurts me most, I'll never see your eyes again. The harder it gets, I need to close my eyes. I can't recollect, I'll never see your eyes again. I try to forget, I'll never see your eyes again.
sad sort of
What
sentiment
hurts me most, I'll never see
to
your eyes
leave the album with.
again. Touch me.
Yeah, as I said, that is a heavy sort of sentiment and atmosphere to leave the album with and to leave the listener with. But yeah, like I said, I think it is profound to do the order that way, to start with the instrumental of that, and then when we get to the end, we get more context and depth for what that musical atmosphere was representing. Yeah, incredible. It sounds like, a lost connection, someone that was in his life and then, sitting by a dusty window and crying and so on, and he's not going to see that face anymore. So there's like a lament, there's an indication of the passage of time and the loss of a connection. So yeah, it's a really heavy sort of pain-filled sentiment to leave the album with. Very intrigued by that. Again, I've loved the album that comes after this chorus as much as anything else. So it's interesting to think about, like, at the end of this album, it was this sort of heavy kind of, like natural instrument piano driven sort of sound, and with his vocals and almost like a cappella style. And then to get to chorus, where right out of the gate, there's a very energetic and electronic sort of atmosphere. So yeah, it's an interesting transition. Really enjoyed that tune. Do let me know what you think of that, or the album as a whole. Yeah, lots more Erasure coming, even as we come to the end of several albums, so do let me know what you think. I will see you next time.